The U.S. pushing for a Mideast peace deal as Secretary of State John Kerry arrives in Jerusalem today. Secretary Kerry will be meeting with both Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the Palestinian president. But Mr. Netanyahu already suggesting that peace may not be possible.
I know that I'm committed to peace, but unfortunately, given the actions and words of Palestinian leaders, there's growing doubt in Israel that the Palestinians are committed to peace.
John Bolton is former U.S. ambassador to the UN and a Fox News contributor. Good to see you today is Thursday, I think. All right, good to see you, sir.
So, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Well, you listen, Secretary Kerry saying he's not expecting a framework agreement at the end of this trip, but how optimistic are you feeling about what Mr. Kerry might accomplish? Any progress possible during this trip?
Well, I don't think it's possible that there's a settlement in sight, and therefore I think whatever quote-unquote progress may occur isn't going to go very far. And it's not just because there are a lot of very contentious issues that still separate the Israelis from the Palestinians. What would the borders of a Palestinian state be? How would you handle Jerusalem? What would be Israel's military disposition on the territory of a Palestinian state on the West Bank? There's something much more fundamental here, and it goes basically to the absence of any institution on the Palestinian side that's legitimate, that can make commitments and then carry them out down the road. It relates to another aspect, which is what kind of state there would be on the other side of the whatever boundary one might draw. So this is not a disagreement that the parties can negotiate about. There's just a fundamental void on the Palestinian side, unfortunately, that makes, I think, any real peace agreement completely impossible.
Well, as we know, Prime Minister Netanyahu, that conversation is up first. So let's get your fly-on-the-wall assessment of how that dialogue might go.
Well, I think with Secretary of State Kerry, as you could see from the opening remarks, is going out of his way to try and accommodate the Obama administration, to listen to their proposals, to discuss them in a reasonable fashion. Not that Netanyahu thinks there's any prospect of peace with the Palestinians. He has another agenda in mind. He's going to try, as he has, I think, during his tenure in office, he's going to try and cooperate with the Obama administration's efforts on the Palestinian question to show his good faith, because what he wants is for the Obama administration either to act against Iran's nuclear weapons program or cut Israel some slack if, in fact, Israel takes military action against that program. So he's trying to buy a little space on the Palestinian issue that he might need in large quantities on the Iranian nuclear issue.
And still, as you know, though, Mr. Kerry is going to go to Ramallah next to speak to Mahmoud Abbas. As the most crucial liaison and peacemaker, what message from Mr. Netanyahu does Secretary Kerry need to take to Mr. Abbas?
Well, I honestly have to say, it's a perfectly legitimate question, but I have to say, I think this is a complete waste of the time of the Secretary of State of the United States. There are a lot more important issues that threaten American national security than the fruitless pursuit of a Palestinian authority that's not legitimate, that's an authoritarian hangover of a former terrorist organization, that doesn't fully control the territory that people agree would be in a Palestinian state if there were going to be one. I think this is a real misdirection of the time and resources and attention of the Secretary of State away from priorities that, from the U.S. national point of view, are honestly a lot more appropriate. So he can talk to the Palestinians, he can talk to the Israelis. I just honestly don't think it's going to make the slightest bit of difference.
That 10 visits in less than 1 year, nonetheless. Ambassador John Bolton, we appreciate your time this morning and perspective as always, sir.
Thanks again. Thank you.